Welcome to the OA Dynasty Forum.
Here at OA Dynasty Forum, we talk about the process that is involved on every journey to success, and we're there to lay it all bare.
Expect to be informed, transformed, and blessed as you come on this journey with us.
Enjoy the journey.
Hi everyone, welcome back to OA Dynasty Forum. If you are a new subscriber, we want to say thank you for subscribing. And if you are planning to subscribe right now, thank you, go ahead and do so. And for those with us since the beginning, double thumbs for you guys. We sincerely appreciate your support. And today, we have a special guest on the platform. And this is someone we respect so much. He's been a friend for a while, and this is someone who has been a mentor to many. I mean, anytime I see this person's post on LinkedIn, I'm always very quick to read because I know it's going to be another time of motivation, inspiration, and blessing. This person is a professional, at the same time a Christian. Yes, you can be a professional and be a Christian. He's a husband to one wife and a father to two amazing kids. And this person is, someone you would want to meet. I'm sure you're as eager as myself. And I'm talking about no other person other than Hope Duntoye. Welcome to the platform.
Thank you.
Thank you for obliging us.
Yes.
Thank you for agreeing to come to our platform. So we started a series where we would kind of bring in professionals, people that, by God's grace are successful in their field of endeavors, and as well as, have, values that we also uphold, right, to the platform to speak about, the process to success. And so today we are going to be, talking about, career and, and success today.
He will be sharing with us his process to success, and if you want to grab your writing materials, please do, because it's going to be a lot of lessons to be learned today. So, Mr. Hope Duntoye, can we please meet you?
All right, thank you very much. I think in the introduction you've already mentioned that we've known each other for a while, so meeting me definitely, I'm sure it's not just for both of you. So I'll maybe say a little more for our audience so they can kind of like understand or appreciate the person that they are listening to. So the name is Hope Duntoye, like you said. I currently work for an international energy company. Before that, I used to work for PwC, a professional services firm. That was after my service with Zenith Bank, and that also was after studying mechanical engineering. So I've had an interesting journey in my career, you can say, from studying mechanical engineering, going to banking to serve, then going to professional services to provide management consulting, systems and process assurance, and then returning to engineering with an international energy company. I've done quite a few things, starting as a production engineer, then moving into the field as a mechanical supervisor, and then I went into planning, business planning, and delivery integration, and then worked also briefly as a special project manager for pipelines projects. And now I work to support one of the biggest FPSOs around to make sure that we continue to deliver value and we continue to power progress together.
Wow, that's quite a process.
Yes.
That's quite a process.
Yes.
Can I please ask, looking at where you were coming from and where you are now, would you say it's a coincidence, or would you say you pre-planned it to happen this way? Or how can you describe it? It was planned, or it just happened by chance?
Okay, yeah, I think that's an interesting question. At least listening to the journey and talking about the different industries where I've worked, I mean, anybody would have that. I think there are two parts to it, frankly. The first one is being led by God. I think that's very important because you can't certainly say you have seen the future such that this must happen at this time. And there are a lot of factors that contribute to who we are today or where we are today. So as such, Except, of course, if you've been through the journey before. I think there's a Chinese proverb that says that if you want to know what's ahead, you should ask those that are coming back. In the journey of life, I still haven't met somebody who has gone through it, who has come back, for you to have asked that, what should happen at this time? So essentially, I wouldn't say it was planned to happen like that. But of course, I think with everything in life, there are certain things you must do to prepare you for those opportunities when they come. And that's how I would put it, that at every point in life, at those different stages, I make sure that by the grace of God, I did those things that would prepare me for whatever opportunity comes up eventually. And that's how I would kind of like to put the journey so far.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for that. Of course, we've spoken about how, of course, God led you and all that. So has it been smooth? Like, would you say it's been a smooth process? Because anyone who is saying you like, okay, you served at Zenith, to PwC, you're now working for an international energy company, like that's, that looks, very, but would you say your experience has been very, very smooth? And is there anything in your background that you think has, prepared you for what you're doing right now?
Yeah. Well, smooth is relative, right? I can always thank God for how He has helped me so far. But of course, there have been challenges along the way as well, which I can also share with people. In retrospect, you can look back now and just look at the journey and think, oh, it's so smooth moving from one industry to the other. But at the same time, you can understand that as somebody that studied engineering first, because of where I served, the only thing I could do then was banking. I remember doing my interview, one of the interviewers asked me and said, okay, so you want me to take you, but someone else has studied banking and finance in the school and has done well as well. So why should I take you instead? And I told the guy, I said, well, it's also important that you understand what the person has taken out of school, right? Because when you go to the university, it's a building block. It's just preparing you for life after. So it all depends on what you have been able to take out of that process. And I think it was impressive. But basically what I'm trying to say is that the switch is not as easy as it sounds sometimes. So you move from engineering, then you move into banking. And then after that, I went into consulting. I know even in consulting at some point, I think that was around 2008, 2009, there were also challenges in the industry, with consulting generally because of what happened globally. And so it's not always that smooth. And then returning to engineering again to pick things up. So in all of that journey, you have to learn a lot. You have to make sure that you're a fast learner, and you have to also, by the grace of God, ensure that you deliver value. So that takes a lot. And that means that, like some people will say, you probably are spending your night studying, trying to understand what is expected of you and taking advantage of all the opportunities around you to also make sure that you build yourself up and you live up to that expectation. So in that sense, I wouldn't say it's just being so smooth that you just get in and you just deliver and you just move out again. It takes a lot to be able to achieve that. And in terms of preparation, of course, there are many ways that one can prepare, and we can talk about as many as we are able to today. But I think essentially it's that openness to learning that is most important in everything that you do. Because like I said, if you get into something new, some people have been doing it before, you need to first understand the process. Even if you want to improve it, you need to understand what they are doing first. You need to understand what is expected before you can then start bringing in that improvement. And for me, I think in one of my posts, I already mentioned that I like to learn things from first principle. You need to understand the principle behind what you are doing. Once you understand that, it's easier for you to build on it. And there are different ways by which you can learn these days. Right? Even the social media provides an opportunity for you to learn. So, we can go into all those details as much as you want, but let me just summarize it that way, that smooth is relative. There will always be challenges with your work. If you are new to something, you always need time to learn, but you have to learn fast as well because people expect results.
Oh, wow. That's powerful. and that's, that's going to lead me to a follow-up question, because most people will see you working with an international company and they're like, wow, that's success and things like that, but you didn't start like that. So the question now is that at what point in the journey did you have the sense of now I'm recording success? I know the word is very relative, but looking at where you started from and where you are now, at what point during the journey? Because we want people to learn, because a lot of people want to just start and just the following day, get to where they are looking to get to. So at what point during the journey did you start, recording what we can, call success?
Okay, thanks. Maybe I'll just tweak it a bit, right? So I quite appreciate that word success, but I think I remember from a book I read very early in my professional life, I think it was from Maxwell, and he actually defined success as a journey. So to that extent, I'm always very careful using that word. Why? Because today I could see myself and say, oh, I'm successful at what I'm doing. I like what I'm doing. But at the same time, I have aspirations. I have my goals. I have other things that I desire. I see other people too, and I'm like, oh, this person is so successful because, of course, they are way ahead in the journey. And like someone would also say as well that no matter what time you wake up in the morning and you get on the expressway, there will always be a car ahead of you. There will always be people behind you. So in the real sense of it, that's why I'm always very careful using that word success. And even when I share things on social media, sometimes I use an example of other people. So it doesn't appear like I feel like, oh, I've arrived and now that I'm successful. Yeah, but I get what you mean. And I guess what you're trying to say probably is, at what point would you say maybe you started feeling comfortable about your journey, where you think you can share, where you think you can others can learn from you? And that is fine. Well, in that sense, I would say that as I moved along and like I told you about the learning process, and I realized that, okay, there are a lot of things I can share with others. There are a lot of things that I've learned. Because like you mentioned, sometimes, especially when people are just starting out, it depends. Some people have the mindset like they want to start today and tomorrow they are kind of like quote successful, if I can put it like that, or they are already made and all that. It takes a while. It's a journey. And for my own journey, it's slightly different as well. Because like I mentioned, I started out in banking, I went into professional services, then I went into energy, right? And I started with engineering. And when I started out, I also went to the leadership program by the American Society of Mechanical Engineers, the Early Career Leadership Intern program to serve engineering. Now, they define that as your early career journey, they define it as, I think, like 3 to 10 years of your journey. Now, I have been with my present company for more than 10 years. And I would say that within that period, I feel I've learned enough that I can share with people. And so if you notice lately, I kind of share more now on my LinkedIn page with people because I feel like in a way, I have also I've learned a lot from other people. So I won't define success as if it has happened at a particular point. I would say it's still a journey. But if you ask about when I feel maybe sufficiently experienced enough to start coaching other people, to start mentoring other people, I would say after I picked up quite a lot around that period. For anybody starting out, I would say your first 3 to 10 years, you are still learning in a way. I mean, there are things you can share with people, but at some point you should also be open to what you can take from other people. And then within that period, you can of course start sharing. I'm not saying it's limited to when you have spent so number of years, but after a while, it's be expected of you that you learned enough to also be ready to share with other people.
Yeah, thank you very much, because that's really, really valid. Because for us, that was also something that, we kind of thought about when we started, because we were like, oh, you are young, why are you talking about success? You wait till, you're there, but then of course, like you said, we resonate with the fact that, success is a journey. Yeah. God gives you some accomplishments, some faith, some things that you've learned from that you can share with others. You don't necessarily want to wait till you are old and gray before you start to share, those tips. So thank you so much for that. My probably this is going to be, second to the last question or something. Is how has your, friendship, those that you move with, your company, how has it helped you, to attain, to at least for the accomplishment that you have now? How would you say that has helped you, so far?
Yeah, I think to answer that question, I will go back in time to when I was even in university. At some point, I met 2 of my friends that from the beginning of the semester, they will make it clear. Even when people are saying, oh, this course is a tough course, maybe those who have taken the course before, they make it clear that we're having A in all our courses. So when you move with people with that kind of mindset, you also know that you are set up for success, as it were, because even if I remember there was one particular problem we were trying to solve almost until the morning of that exam, when one of us solved it, we all looked through it, understood it without knowing, and it was part of the question that was asked in the exam. So when you move with the right people, with people with that kind of mindset that we must be successful, even while in the university, we were clear, okay, this is where we'd like to work when we finish, these are things we'd like to do, and they say it, of course, backed up by the grace of God, they say it authoritatively, so there's no doubt. So to that extent, I would say it starts even from there. You have to start moving with the right people, people with the right mindset, people who are set up for success. And then, of course, when you start working as well, you have to identify people that will challenge you. I think they say it even for executives. You don't want to be in a room where you want to prove that you are the smartest all the time. You want to be with friends, with people that you can learn from as well. And you are open to whatever ideas they are bringing to you. So I think that's what I'll say about the kind of friends that I've had so far, starting from school days, people who they bring to the table, they contribute to the success of the team, ensuring that we do very well in our courses. And also after school, people that at work, they are determined to make sure that first the team does well, and also that they help you in areas where you need help, and they are also open to listen to your own ideas as well, so that you all contribute to the success of what you have to do. And beyond work, because I think friendship is not just about work. Beyond work, I have friends that you guys are my friends as well. You know, and from time to time we talk, we encourage each other. You know, you want to understand in this journey of life, you can learn from other people as much as they can learn from you as well. And you can learn from their success stories and also from their mistakes. I mean, when I give this feedback to you guys a lot, when I watch your videos, I learn a lot because you guys have, you share with us your journey so far, and especially when you talk about your journey in Canada as well, for my wife that is studying here, and it helps. So I think that's how I'll put it, that if you have the right people around you, you will always learn a lot from them. And that has been very helpful for me so far.
Wow, that's spot on, and it's something you said that really, jumped out to me. The fact that you need to know what you want, and the 5 people that their goals align. I think that's very powerful for our audience to pick. Then along the line, if I can extrapolate from what you said, we are more or less like an average of the people we move around with and things like that. Yeah. But this is just an avenue to encourage people. And in those days, we hear that time is money, but now I'm beginning to hear that the narrative is changing. People are beginning to say, time is not money, value is money. So I just want you to maybe comment on that, because along the journey of success, the values you bring to the table, like you mentioned in some of your answers, will determine what happens next. Can you please comment on that, on how value can be a big contributor to this journey of success?
Yeah, thanks. I think that it's important that we also, as an individual, define those things that are important to us, right? And quite frankly, there are a lot of them, but I'll just touch on a few. For me, excellence is very important. And I say so because if you do an excellent job, people will look for you.
Yeah.
People will look for you. Colleagues will look for you. That will look for you. You'll be the go-to person. So I hold that strongly as a value in whatever I do. Put a touch of excellence to it, something that makes it unique, something that makes it different, something that makes people want to come back, right? Something that makes them want to come back to you. That's one thing. I also think that integrity is very important in whatever we do, right? Because sometimes people are tempted to do things in certain ways that bring instant gratification. But in the long term, in the long run, would that value still hold if whatever you have gained from what you think you've done, sacrificing integrity, can it stand the test of time? So I think it is very important that people maintain integrity in whatever we do. There's also the place of perseverance. Sometimes when you share some of these stories, it seems as if, like you were asking the other day, were you born today, and instantly you can say that you became a success. It takes time. These things take time, right? So you have to persevere. I mean, if I want to tell the story about my background now, I probably take the whole day to share that. So it's not like it was that easy growing up, but just that commitment to success, being determined to make sure that you pull through, helps a lot. So I think perseverance is important. Respect for people as well. I take that seriously, because the way you treat people will also determine whether they will come back to you or not. If you are excellent at whatever you do, but people don't think that they can relate with you easily, they'll probably not come back to you. And we all need people to succeed, right? So you have to keep in mind that you have to show respect for people. And professionally, of course, closely related to integrity is ethics, right? You have to make sure that you maintain those values that are important to yourself and to the organization. So like I said, there are quite a number of them that one can run through quickly, but just leaving it at those 5, I think if we keep those in mind, they will help us with being successful at whatever we choose to do.
That's phenomenal.
That's loaded.
Yeah, excellence, integrity,
perseverance,
perseverance
and respect for people. Yes. Wow. Thank you so much. So before we end this, we just wanted to ask if you have any advice, for those that are watching, someone who is looking to, get to that height in their career, and also, of course, a word of prayer to those that are listening to us.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. So I think, like I said, I'll start it with maybe a bit of caution to say, I've not come here to share today because I feel like, okay, now I'm not very successful, and so I should be someone else's dream or something like that. It's a journey for me as well. So, but I think my advice to anybody listening, or to all the people listening, would be that the tips we pick up from videos like this, the tips we pick up from others, let's not take them for granted. There are a lot of things you can learn from other people. I think from my local language, we have an adage that says that the horse behind just follows after the footstep of the one ahead. So you don't want to make the same mistake, and that if someone has fallen into a pit, it teaches you, like you learn from that, things to avoid. So I think it's good to be ready to learn from what others have been through. It's good to be determined to all those values that I mentioned. It's good to keep them in mind as you do your job, as you deliver from time to time. But I think ultimately it's about God. Another, I like what you said also about praying, because there are some decisions also, even in my career, that you have to make that you may not be sure. In fact, most of the time you are not really sure of, okay, should I go right or should I go left? But if you leave it to God, He's going to guide you, He's going to lead you, and you'll be sure of what He wants. So, and as such, my word of prayer for those watching will be that God will lead you aright. I pray that you will not make that mistake that you look back and regret and wish that you didn't go along that route or along that line. And so I pray that everybody watching will be successful in whatever they lay their hands on.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much for sharing with us tips. At least for me, it's also been very, very helpful to hear this as well, because sometimes we just carry out our lives on a daily basis without really having those values at the back of our mind. But then it's important for those values to form who we are, so that even unconsciously we know that we are already acting out those values. So thank you so much for sharing. So if you stay till this point, thank you and I know that you must have learned a thing or two, and we want you to please share with us in the comment section. We would also put a link to Hope's LinkedIn profile. You can follow him. He shares inspirational posts, and I'm sure that you're going to, of course, be blessed. And so, thank you again for staying till this time.
I mean, he has shared his journey with us so far, but if for anything, just don't forget the fact that there's God at every point in the journey, like he has shared with us.
Thanks for having me too.
All right, thank you. All right, until next time, we'll see you again in our next episode. You say?
Bye.